Hello, is my screen visible? Hello,
Yes, sir.
okay. So today is day 4, I guess. Mm, day 3, day 4. So today's topic is conditional statements, loop, control statements. Okay. So what is a conditional statement or what is a statement? So as you all are from like engineering background, computer science or application, so you must know what is a statement or like all these things. What is a conditional statement, loop, or control statements? So basically, a statement is like an instruction. Okay, statement is an instruction, set of commands, set of tokens, which perform some specific task. Like statement is an instruction which performs some specific task. Okay, statement is an instruction which performs some specific task. So what is the difference between token and a statement? Like a single token is a single token and statement is a collection of tokens. Like suppose int num, sorry, num semicolon. Okay, int num semicolon. So this is a reserved keyword. Here we have space and a separator, an identifier, a separator. So int is not a statement, space is not a statement, num is not a statement, semicolon is not a statement. All together are a statement. So these three topics we'll cover today, and we'll try to complete the grammar part as soon as possible, so that like we can start with the object-oriented concept. Okay, because object-oriented is the important part, and all these things are like basic parts which you all must know because you all are from engineering background. Okay, so what is a statement? Statement is an instruction which performs some specific task. It means whatever specific task you want to perform, you have to write an instruction, or you can also say a statement. Okay, like if you talk about English language, so where are you coming from? I'm fine. These are statements in English language. These are statements in English. But if you talk about like programming languages, these are an example of statements. So these are like instructions. If you want to perform something, if you want to like do something, whatever you want to do, you have to write whatever you want computer to do, not like you want to do. You want your computer to perform a specific task, you have to write a specific instruction for that. And how we write instructions? To write instructions, we have to use tokens. Like as we discussed in the last class, we have 5 types of tokens: reserved, keyword, identifier, operator, separator, and literal. So this is a reserved keyword, space, separator, any name, variable name, class name, method name, object name, whatever the name it is an identifier, and this is a separator. Okay, so this is a statement or an instruction. Okay. So statements are something like statements are instructions which perform some specific task. So by default, every statement is unconditional. By default, every statement is unconditional, which means which means every unconditional statement is executed whenever the program execution control goes to that particular statement. Okay. By default, every statement is unconditional, which means every unconditional statement is executed whenever the program execution control goes to that particular statement. Suppose if we have like statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4, statement 5, statement 6. We have 6 statements in a program. Okay. So whenever we start executing the program, like our program control goes to first statement at first, after that second statement, then third statement, then fourth statement, then fifth, then sixth. By default, every statement is unconditional. It means whenever our program execution control goes to any statement, the statement must be executed. Okay. Whenever any program, like our program execution control goes to any statement, by default, it will execute that particular statement because it is by default unconditional statement. But suppose if you want a single statement or multiple statements conditional, so that like they could be only executed if some specific condition is satisfied, so you can make it conditional also. But by default, always remember, by default every statement is unconditional. It means whatever you write will be executed. Whatever you write will be executed. So you have to remember this. So whatever you write will be executed by default. But if you want a statement or multiple statements, okay, will be executed only if a specific condition is satisfied, then it is also possible to make it. And how you can make it, like how you can make statement or multiple statements conditional? Using conditional statements. And what are conditional statements here? Not only in Java, in every programming language, whether it is like C or C++ or Java, Python, PHP, .NET, Unix, JavaScript, any language, whatever the language is, every language has conditional statements. What are conditional statements? Conditional statements are statements which are like somehow dependent on some conditions. If the condition is satisfied, the statements will be executed, otherwise they will not. Okay. So how we can make statement, a single statement or multiple statements conditional? Multiple statement means you have to write a block. We call it block of statements. If we want to like make more than one statement conditional, you have to create a block. Okay. So there is an if else, if else ladder. This is also if else. Okay. Switch case. That's all. If else ladder means if, else if, else. So what is if? The statement or syntax, that is the grammar. Like syntax, what is the syntax? So syntax is if true, then statement. There is no condition, there is true. If always works, if here we pass true, or if it gets true here. So syntax, the syntax of if is if true. Okay, if this if gets true here, what kind of true is this? Boolean true, true, false. Okay, so if always works, if it gets true here, then this single statement after the if statement, the single statement is conditional. Like this specific statement is dependent on this. If you write some other statement here, so after this statement, other statements are not conditional, because by default a single statement, single line is conditional. Okay, by default every statement is conditional, and by default every if and else has only one statement inside that. Okay, by default if and else makes only one statement conditional, not more than one. If you want to make more than one statement conditional, you can write it in curly braces. That is called block of statements. Suppose if we have multiple statements, like more than one statement, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. If we have three statements, so if this specific if gets true, then this statement 1 will only be conditional, true or false, like whatever it is. This statement 1 is only conditional. These two statements are not conditional. But if you want to make more than one statement conditional, you can write it inside the curly braces. Now, this if has multiple statements. It means multiple statements, or you can also say block of statements are dependent on this specific if. If this if gets true here, all these statements will be executed, otherwise they will not. So this is the syntax of if. This is only if, without any else. Now if else. If true, true statement, else false statement. So by default, every if has only one statement, and every else has only one statement just after that if or else statement. Only one statement. But if you want to make more than one statement conditional with this if and else, so this is the syntax for if and else. So they both can have more than one statements to make them conditional. Okay. They can have more than one statements conditional. Using block, you have to write the statements in block. Okay, you have to write the statements in block. This is if else. What is if else, if else, if else, if? And in if and else, only one block will be executed. Okay, if this part will be executed, this will not, and if this part will be executed, this will not. So when, which part will be executed? If, when this if gets true here, so this part will be executed. If this if gets false here, else part will be executed. Okay, now if else ladder. If true statement, else if true. You can also write like this, no problem. This is also okay in one line. But to make it more like simple, easy to understand, we use enter. Okay, else if true statement, else if true statement, else statement. If you want, you cannot write like this else. You can end like this. If, else if, else if, else if. That's all. But if you want else at the last, you can also write like this. So what is the meaning of this statement? If this if gets true, then this statement will be executed. Otherwise, this else part will be executed. If this if gets true, this statement will be executed. No statement will be executed. Only this statement will be executed. But when this if gets false here, it means this else part will be executed. And inside this else, again we have another if. So again, if this if gets true here, this statement only will be executed and no other statements will be executed. But if this if gets false here, this else will be executed, because this else is of this if, this else is of this if, this else is of this if, this else is of this if. This else is not of this if. Every else is of the latest if, the recent if, the latest. So for this else, which if is latest? This if is latest. For this else, which if is latest? This if is latest. For this else, which if is latest? This if is latest. For this else, which if is latest? This if is latest. Okay. So this is if else ladder. This is if else. Block. This is only if else with single statement. If with block, If. What is this? This is comment line. It means whenever any statement or line you write in your program after this double slash, it means that statement or line Java will not consider its own statement or the program statements. It will just skip that statement at the execution time or at the compilation time. At the compilation time, every statement will be skipped if the statement is written just after double slash. So it is single line statement. And if you want to like write multiple statements as comments, like not as the part of the program, so you can write them as start with slash star, end with star slash. Inside this, you can write multiple line of statements. Okay. You can write multiple line of statements as comment. Comment means they are not your part of the program. They are not the part of the grammar actually. They will not be compiled. So they will not be executed. Okay. What is switch case? Switch case is just like this. This you can write in another form. Switch case is the another form of like if else ladder, you can say. For example, switch case. Switch data. Case data match statement or block of statements. Then don't write break now. Okay. This is the switch case. Means data match. We just have to provide data here. I'll show you the example also. Okay. So we have to pass some data here. Okay. Inside this switch, we have to pass some data. First, this switch will match the data here. In the first case means matching data. So if this data is matched here, if this here we have same data as this, then it will start executing the statements from here till the end of the switch block. It will not match any case again. The first time it gets a matched case, then it will not match the case again. Suppose if this case it gets matched, so all these statements will be executed. If this data is not matched, again it will match, check for another case match. If again it is not matched, again it will check for another data match. If this data is matched, then from here every statement will be executed. It means wherever you get a data match, from that line every statement will be executed till the end of this switch block. That's why we write break here after every statement or block of statement, because we don't want, like if this data is matched, we don't want every statement to be executed. We just want this specific statement to be executed if this data is matched. If this data is matched, we want just these statements to be executed, not all of these. So break means to break the switch case block. Now, if this data is matched, this statement will be executed, and after that, break. It means break the switch. It will not go down. All other statements will not be executed if you write block. But if you don't write block, it is also possible not to write block. If you don't write break, so what happens? Wherever you get a data match, every statement will be executed. But if I write break, only specific statement will be executed, and after the break, it will break just switch case block. Okay. At this default statement, if you want, you can write break. If you don't want, no need to write it, because as this is the last statement, after this statement, by default, it will break the loop, break the switch case. Okay. After this default statement, it will by default like end this switch block, break this switch block. So no need to write here, or if you want, you can also write this. Now the next point is, it is not always mandatory to write this default at the end of the statements. You can also write this default at the first line, or in the middle, or at the last, wherever you want. But you can have only one default. Okay, not three defaults. You can only have only one default. But if this default is at last line, then no need to write break. But if this is at line 1 or line 2 or any other line except this default, oh sorry, except this last line, so you have to write break. Why? But this default will work at last. Okay, whenever we enter into this switch, default will not work. Default will only work at last. So suppose we have passed some data here, this case will be executed at first. Like this will check for data match. If this is matched, this statement will be executed, and break means end of this switch block. If this data does not match, does not match, does not match default, it will work. Default means the else. And after executing this statement, as this is no break, again it will go to here. It means if you write default at last, so no need to write break. But if you write default at any other line except last, you have to write break. Okay. So theory part completed. Now let's do some practical thing. Okay. So we have not like discussed any input output system in Java so far, but still, as everyone here is from like engineering background, so you must know how to take input and how to write print statement in Java. So I'll just write the basic input output statement here, not input statement, only output statement, to like show you some practical thing related to these conditional statements. So let's have an example. onlinegdb.com. This is an online compiler. Okay. Language you have to select here: C, C++, Java, Java. Okay. Okay. C. Num equal to 5. Okay. If num reminder to suppose if you write to if you want to print absolute value, like check if a value is absolute or not. or like print its absolute value. So num equal to 5. We always want positive number. We don't want negative number. If you provide here negative number, it will also print the positive number. If you provide positive number, it will print the same. But for negative number, it will just make it positive. So how you can check if a number is negative or not? So if number is less than 0, if number is less than 0, then num equal to minus num. See, only if we have no else here. And inside this if, only this one statement comes. This statement is not conditional. Only this statement is conditional. And one important thing, if someone will ask you if is a conditional statement, always say no. If itself is not a conditional statement, but if makes other statement or statements conditional, it itself is not a conditional statement. Inside this program, this is unconditional, unconditional statement, unconditional, unconditional, conditional, unconditional. This statement is only conditional. If is not conditional statement. If makes other statements conditional. It itself is not a conditional statement, because whenever we execute this program, our program execution control goes to that this line at first, this line, this line, this line, this line, but it will not go to this line by default. If this if gets true here, then this statement will be executed. Otherwise, this statement will not be executed. It means this statement is conditional. This statement is unconditional. Every if else, whatever you write, is by default, like it itself is not a conditional statement, but it makes other statement or multiple statements conditional. Many time, like in interview, you will be confused. They'll ask you some kind of questions like, if is a conditional statement or not, always say no. If itself is not a conditional statement, but it makes other statements conditional. Okay, it itself is not a conditional statement. It makes some other statement or other statements or block of statements conditional. So this line will be executed for sure, but this is not for sure. This line will only be executed if this if gets true here, boolean true, true. So if num is less than, like suppose if we have -5, so this if will get true, like -5, num less than 0, -5 less than 0, true or false? True. So if this gets true here, this line will be executed, means num equal to minus num. So in this num we have -5, so -5, so minus minus plus, it means inside this num we have +5. Again, this is unconditional, it means this will definitely be executed, so this will print num. So now what we have inside num, we have +5, as we have provided -5, but here it is changed from -5 to +5. It will print +5. But if you write only 5 here, like +5, so num less than 0, 5 is less than 0, false. So this statement will not be working. Now this will print num. Inside num we have 5. It means this statement has not been executed. So it has not changed the original value. Okay. So this is, see, run. What's wrong? Okay. Num equal to minus num. kind of error like equal to and minus is not an operator. Hmm. Cannot find symbol num. Oh, sorry.
Data type is not assigned.
Int. Yeah.
Yeah.
Int num. Now it's okay. 5. We have provided -5. Okay. And it is printing +5. And this statement is executing. Okay. And when you write -5, still 5. Sorry, +5. So this statement is not executing. That's why. So this is an example of only if. If you want multiple statements, you have to write curly braces. If this block will be executed, these two lines will be executed. So we have +5. See, 5. It means this block is not working. If we provide -5 here, it means this block will only work if this if gets true here. See, if executing. So this num has been changed. Now this num is printed. So this is multiple block, sorry, block of statements. Now if else, suppose we like any number we have. Let's see like if a number is even or odd. Okay. So if num modulus 2 equal to 0, this means reminder. If any number is divided with 2 and we get 0 at reminder part, so it is true, it is like even number. If this if gets true here, it means this statement will be executed. Otherwise, this else will be executed. Both will not be executed at the same time. Only one part will be executed, either if or else. Okay. So this is if else. Let's check it. Odd number. And if you provide 8, even number. Okay. Single statement. If is true here, if is false here. Okay. Run. If is false here, sorry, if is true here, even number. If you write odd number, this block will be executed. If is false here, odd number. It means you can write multiple statements. You can make multiple statements conditional, but for that, you have to write all the statements inside curly braces. Okay. Curly braces is used to write a block. See, if else ladder. num1 equal to 5, comma num2 equal to 6, comma result, or like see 5 6. Okay. Int choice equal to 2. Switch choice. We have to pass some data here. Case 1. What we want here, we just want to write a calculator kind of thing. Okay. We just want to create a calculator. Like if this is 1, it will print sum of two numbers. If it is 2, it will print difference of two numbers. If it is 3, it will print product of two numbers. Okay. So here num1 plus num2. Sorry, I'm writing switch case. No problem. Let's like do switch case first, then we will do this. Okay. Switch case, if this is case 1, 2, 3, 4, num1 plus num2, num1 minus num2, num1 into num2, divide num2, invalid choice. So if this switch gets 1 here, so this case will be matched. So if this case will be matched, all the statements will be executed from this case. If it is 2, choice is 2, from here it will execute all the statements. If it is 3, it will print all the statements. It will execute all the statements from here. Let's see. As we have 2 in this choice variable, so this case will not be matched. This will match. So it will print this, this, this invalid choice. All it will print because we have not written break. See 5 and 6. So choice 2, it is not matching. Case 1 is not matching. Case 2 is matching. And from case 2, it will execute all the statements. Like it will print the difference, like 5 minus 6 minus 1. Again, it will execute this line, 5 into 6, 30. 5 divide 6, 0, invalid choice. But if you want only a specific case to be executed, you have to write break. Here, it is not mandatory. You can write or no need to write. See, only -1. It means case 2, this is executing. After that, break means break the switch. If we provide like 6 in the choice, not matching, not matching, not matching, not matching, it means default will always match if no any case is matching. So default will be matched. So invalid choice. But if you write this here, you have to write break. Otherwise, like we have 6 in choice, case 1 not matching, case 2 not matching, case 3 not matching, case 4 not matching, it means default will be matched. Doesn't matter at which line it is. So this default will be matched. It means after this default, every statement will be executed. After this default, so this will be executed, this will be executed, then break. So invalid choice into. It means if you write this default at the end of switch block, so no need to write break. But if I write it at other line, you have to write break. Okay. Switch cases completed. Okay. Now this if else ladder. We can also write this program using if else ladder. We don't want this switch case. Okay. If choice equal to 1, else if choice equal to 2, else if choice equal to 3 into else if choice equal to 4, else we don't have if here. Invalid choice. See, this program and that switch one was the same. So we have provided 6 here. If choice equal to 1, no, it is false. So if any if is false, the execution control will go to the else of that if. So which else? We have multiple else here. So which else is of this if, this else? So if this if gets false here, it will go to the else part. Again at the else, we have another if. If choice equal to 2, it is 6, not true. False. Again, every if it gets false, it transfer the control, execution control to its else part. Again, this else will be executed. Again, this else have another if. If it is true, this will be executed. Otherwise, it will go to its else part. Again, this else we have another if. Choice 4, no, false. It will go to else part. Means this else is of this if. So else means we have don't any other if here. It means this else will be executed. Invalid choice. But suppose if you have 3, false, go to else, false, go to else, true, just do it. Don't go to else. If it is true, this part will be executed. You can also, if you want, you can also have multiple statements here using curly braces. That's all. 30, because at 3 we have into. So conditional statements completed. Now we have loop. So any doubt, anyone in conditional statements, whatever we have done so far? Anyone has any doubt in conditional statement? Tell me yes or no. Any doubt?
No doubts, no doubts, Vishnu.
No.
Okay. What is loop? Loop is used to repeat statement or block of statements. Okay. Loop is used to repeat. It is used to repeat something like a single statement or block of statements. Okay, it is just only used to repeat, but it has many forms. We have 4 kind of loops in Java. So 3 will like we will cover today, and 1 will cover later when we work with arrays and data structures. Okay, so first one is for loop, second one is while loop, third one is do while loop, and for each. or you can also like each here for each. So this for each loop we can only use if we have data structure, like if we have collection of data in a single variable. Okay, so if you have multiple data in a single variable, so you can use this loop to get every individual data from the list of data from the collection. So we'll be discussing it later. Okay, now just work with first three loops. For loop, what is the syntax for start or initialize, semicolon, condition, increment or decrement, statement. Or if you want, you can write multiple statements. You can use these curly braces for a single statement also, but it's not required. Okay, but if you write curly braces, if you have single statement, still it will work. Okay, so this is the syntax of for loop. Means you can start here, you can initialize your variables. It is not like you can initialize only a single variable. If you want, you can initialize multiple variables here. If you want, you can initialize multiple variables here. You can write multiple conditions here. You can have multiple increment and decrement here. Let's see an example. Online GDB. Int num. Suppose if you want to print 1 to 10 for num equal to 1 semicolon. It means we have two semicolons here. The first here, second is here. If num less than equal to 10, it means still if it is true, it will work. If it gets false here, it will not work. Condition like true condition. Condition, or you can also write true or condition. Okay. So if this is true, this for will work. If this is false, this for will not work. Increment, decrement, num plus plus. We want to increase it by 1. So at first we have 1 at num. How loop executed? How this loop will be executed? Okay. How this loop will be executed? So how this loop will be executed? We have declared a variable for loop. This start will work at first. Num equal to 1. Again, it will check the condition. Num less than 2. Yes, it is 1. 1 less than equal to 10. Yes, it is true. 1 less than equal to 10. Sorry. We have not selected the language. So we have declared a variable num. Start. Num equal to 1. Check the condition if it is true or not. So 1 less than equal to 10, it is true. Go here. Don't go here. Execute the statement. it will print the value of num. As we have num like 1, it will print 1. After executing all the statements in for, it will go to the increment decrement part. So num plus plus, it will be 2 again. Again, it will check if it is true or not. So 2 less than equal to 10, true. Execute the statement, 2 will be printed. Again, it will go to increment decrement, num plus plus. It will be 3. 3 less than equal to 10, condition true. It will print 3. Num plus plus 4. 4 less than equal to 10, it will print 4. Num plus plus 5. 5 less than equal to 10, it will print 5. Num plus plus 6. 6 less than equal to 10, it will print 6. 7. 7 less than equal to 10, it will print 7. 8. 8 less than equal to 10, it will print 8. 9. 9 less than equal to 10, it will print 9. 10. 10 less than equal to 10, yes, equal to 10, it will print 10. 11. 11 less than equal to 10, false. End of this loop, end of the program. It means if someone will ask you after executing the complete program, at last, what is the value of num? So the value of num is 11. Because here num was 11, false. Program completed. After executing all the statements of this program, we have 11 in num. Okay, so this is loop. Start, condition, execute. Increment, decrement, condition, execute. Increment, decrement, condition, execute. Increment, decrement, condition, execute. If it is true. Okay. If you want to print even numbers from 2 to 20, just start with 2 less than equal to 20, num not plus plus, num equal to num plus 2. It means at first we have num 2, 2 less than equal to 20, 2 will be printed. Go here, num equal to num plus 2. In num we have 2, 2 plus 2, 4, num equal to 4, 4 less than equal to 20, true, 4 will be printed. Num equal to 4 plus 2, 6, 6 less than equal to 20, 6 will be printed. Okay, see. If you want, you can write multiple statements here. If you want to print something like this, 1 5 2 4 3 3 4 2 5 1. Suppose if you want to print like this, 1 5 2 4. So suppose this is another variable and this is other 1 5. Num1 equal to 1, comma, num2 equal to 5. You can only have two semicolons. But if you want to start with multiple initializations, you can write multiple initialization with comma. You can write multiple increment decrement with comma. But if you want to write multiple conditions, you can write it with either and or or. Okay, and or. Here it does not accept comma. So num1 equal to 2, num2 equal to 5. This is num1, num1 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is num2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So num1 equal to 1, num2 equal to 5. Num1 plus plus, comma, num2 minus minus. Means num1 is incrementing and num2 is decrementing. And num1 less than equal to 5 and num2 greater than equal to 1. This is num2, num2 greater than equal to 1, 1 or greater, and num1 less than equal to 5, 5 or less. So here it will print num1 plus space plus num2. A print ln, ln means next line after printing this. So it will just like initialize num1 with 1 and num2 with 5. Check the condition, it is true. Num1 is 1 less than equal to 5, true. Num2 is 5 greater than equal to 1, true. It means true and true. True. And means if both are true, then result will be true. It will print num1 and num2. Means 1 space 5. Again, num1 is 2 and this is 4. So 2 less than equal to 5, true. 4 greater than equal to 1, true. True, 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 2, 4. 3, 3. True. 4, 2. 4, 2. True. 4, 2 will print. 5, 1. 5, 1 true. 6, 0. 6, 0 false. Loop false. After executing the complete program, num1 is 6 and num2 is 0. Run it. Sorry. Num2. See? You can write multiple statements here by separating comma. 10 initializations, 20 initializations. Okay. And if you don't want, you can write nothing here. Without any initialization. So what you have to do? Num1 equal to 1, num2 equal to 5. It is also correct. We have not initialized here. We have initialized above the for statement. It will still okay. No problem. If you want, you don't want to write increment decrement here. No problem. But if you want to write more than one statement, you have to write it inside the block. Okay. So it is not like mandatory to write everything inside the for, but 2 semicolons are mandatory. We will not initialize here because we have already initialized. We will not write the increment decrement part here. We will increase or decrease the value inside the for loop, or we will not increase or decrease if we want infinite loop. So it is not mandatory. This is also not mandatory. Only 2 semicolons are mandatory. If num1 equal to 6 and num2 equal to 0, break. Break is a control statement. Like switch case, breaks the switch case block. Here also breaks the loop. So let's start it. Num1 equal to 1, num2 equal to 5. It will go to initialization part, nothing here. Go to condition part, nothing here. Directly enter into the loop. It will print 1 and 5. Num1 2, 4. If num1 6 and num2 0, no. This break is conditional. Okay. This will only work if this if gets true here. So it is false. This break will not work. Again, it will come here. After that, it will go to after here. It will go to the increment decrement part of the loop. It will continue here to the increment decrement part. So there is no increment decrement part. It will go to the condition part. No condition. Again, it will enter into the loop. So 2 and 4. 2, 4. 3, 3. False. Again, go here. No increment decrement. No condition. It will go to the increment decrement part. But as there is no any increment decrement, there is no any condition, it will enter into the loop. Okay. So 3, 3. 4, 2. Condition false. Break will not work. After here, go to the increment part. Nothing here. Condition, nothing here. 4, 2. 5, 1. Condition false. Increment decrement. Condition 5, 1. 6, 0. Num1 is 6. Num2 0. Yes. Now this break will work. Break means break the loop. See? Still it is working. Suppose we want to create a for loop without any statement. It is also possible. Without any statement. Just write semicolon here. That's all. It means this for loop will be executed, but it will not be having any statement. Only these parts will be executed. Like num1 semicolon means this is the for loop. For loop is correct, but this for loop has no statement. So how it will be executed? As usual, like num equal to 1, num to 5, condition is true. Yes, it will go to inside the loop, but there is no any statement. It will directly go to the increment decrement part. As there is no statement inside the loop, it will go directly here. So num1 is 2, and this is from 5, it is 4. 2, 4, correct. Again go here. 3, 3, correct. Again go here. 4, 2, correct. Again go here. 5, 1, correct. Again go here. 6, 0, false. What it will print here? 6 and 0. This statement is not inside this loop because we have written semicolon here. Any loop, if any for loop, if it has semicolon, it means it does not have any statement. But still, this loop will work. The internal functions features will work. But as there is no statement, no problem. But here it will print 6 and 0. See, if you want to create a loop without any statement, it is also possible. You can write multiple increment decrements, thousands of millions of increment decrements, hundreds of thousands of millions of like initializations, hundreds of thousands of millions of conditions using and or. So here conditions you can merge with and or, and multiple increment decrement with separator, comma. Here also you have to use comma. Or if you don't want to write anything, just write 2 semicolons. It means we don't have initialization, condition, and increment decrement here. I have at another place, but I don't have here. So that was the for loop. Is there any problem? Anyone tell me yes or no? Any problem?
No. Yeah.
Okay. अच्छा, ये आयुष झा कौन है? आप ही है क्या? अमन? हेलो
आयुष हूँ।
आयुष? आयुष नाम का तो कोई नहीं है। किस बैच में हो आप आयुष? क्योंकि आयुष नाम का तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि कोई है।
भैया मैं धीरज बोल रहा हूँ, मेरा भाई है।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, तुम ज्वाइन किए थे, ठीक। ओके, सो this is the example of for. Now go to while loop. So what is the syntax of while loop? What is the syntax of while loop? The same as for. Just copy it. I'll show you what is the difference. See, it was for. Just write while here. While does not have start or initialize here. It has here. First, you have to start or initialize, then you can start while loop. While does not have increment decrement here. It has inside the while loop. That is the only difference. Means initialize will be here and increment decrement will be inside the while, either at last or inside, like in any line, but inside this curly braces. Everything will be same. See, like if you want to print 1 to 10, see, this is the only difference. Initialization is before the while loop. Okay, we have num equal to 1. 1 less than equal to 10, condition true. 1 will be printed, num plus plus num2. Go here again, continue the loop. By default, every loop is continued from the last of the loop. So this is the last. Again, num we have 2, 2 less than equal to 10, condition true, it will print 2. 3 from here it will go to while loop because it is repeating 3 less than equal to 10, 4, 4 less than equal to 10, 4, 5, 5 less than equal to 10, 5, 6, 6 less than equal to 10, 6, 7, 7 less than equal to 10, 7, 8, 8 less than equal to 10, 8, 9, 9 less than equal to 10, 9, 10, 10 less than equal to 10, equal to 10, 10, 11, 11 less than equal to 10, false. So this while also works with true. If it gets false, it is completed. After executing this while loop, we have num equal to 11 here. Okay, just run it. See, if you want to print 10 to 1, write 10 here, num greater than equal to 1, num minus minus, that's all. Okay, so it is starting from 10, 10 greater than equal to 1, true, 10, 9, 9 greater than equal to 1, 9, 8, 8 greater than equal to 1, 8, 7, 7 greater than equal to 1, 5, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, greater than equal to 1, 1, 0, 0 greater than equal to 1, no. While will stop working. If you want to print like num1, num2, 1, 5 like thing, okay. Num1 equal to 1, num2 equal to 5, while num1 less than equal to 5 and num2 greater than equal to 1, num1 space num2, num1 plus plus, num2 minus minus. See, the same answer. See, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4, 2, 5, 1. If you don't want to write it here, always use true. True means always true. It will not check any condition, but you have to write the condition here. See, if num1 equal to 6 and num2 equal to 0, just break it. See, this true means this while is always true, infinite loop. But we will not let it execute with infinite times. We have break statement here, but it is conditional. If num1 is 1, num1 is 6 and num2 equal to 0, then this break will work and it will break the loop. Okay. So is there any problem? Anyone in while loop? Tell me, yes or no? Tell me yes or
No,
no.
Vishal. No, Vishal. Yeah.
Okay.
Clear.
Now we have do while. Syntax. It is same as while loop. At just cut this while from here and write do. Cut all the complete statement while true condition. Cut, just write do here, and at last just paste that semicolon. That is the difference. This while and condition was here, so just replace it with do and write that while here. That's all. If you want to print 1 to 10. This is to print 1 to 10. This is while loop. Okay, this is while loop. So just cut this statement here and paste it here, and here just write do. That's all, nothing else. Num equal to 1, do means karo, do 1 will print 1 plus 2, while 2 less than equal to 10. So yes, the condition is true. Again do 2, 3 less than equal to 10, condition true. Again do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 less than equal to 10, condition true. Again do 10, 11, 11 less than equal to 10, condition false. Break the loop. See, 1 to 10. If you want to print 10 to 1, see 10 to 1. Print like that, num1 comma num2, num1 equal to 1, num2 equal to 5, num1, num2, num1 plus plus, num2 minus minus. Okay, that's all. As we are running it on the internet, on browser, cloud server, so sometimes like server is busy. If it is busy, then it takes some time. If you want, you can stop it here. Again, you can run it. See, 1 5. This is the cloud server. Okay, so the output is same. Still, like if you want here to make it infinite, I just true here. Okay, num1 equal to 6, num2 0. The output is same. While true, because while, for, do while, if, it always work if it gets true. Okay, do while completed. Now control statements are used to control the flow of execution program. Control statements are used to control the flow of execution of a program, and these are break and continue. Break means used to break the current or latest loop or switch case block, and continue is used to continue the current loop. It is not used inside switch. It is only used in loop without going below the current statement. Break we have used so far, like it is used to break the current loop or switch case block. Everyone knows. Okay, but what is continue? num equal to 1, num less than equal to 50, num plus plus. Okay. Num. It will print 1 to 50. Okay, like we don't want new line, just print space. Okay, run it. It will print 1 to 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we don't want to print multiples of 5. Like I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 to 13, 14. I don't want to print 5, 10, 15, 20. Like I don't want to print multiples of 5. If num reminder 5 equal to 0, let's check it if it is like divisible by 5 or not. If it is 0 after dividing 5, so continue. Continue means by default every loop has break and continue. Every loop has break at here, the condition part. If condition is false, it will break the loop. So by default every loop has its own break, and by default every loop has its own continue. Where the break is and where the continue is, break is here at the condition part, and continue is here at the last line, because after this line it will continue the loop again. Means it repeats again, after this it will go to here, after this it will go to here. Means by default it continues the loop from here, but I don't want this statement, this line, to continue the loop. I want to continue the loop manually myself. So you have to write the continue reserve keyword. So if reminder 5 is true, continue. Continue means after this continue, go here, like num plus plus. It will not go below the line without going below the connect statement. It will not go below the continue statement. It will continue the loop from here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 time, 11, 12, 13, 14. So num1 less than 50, 1 reminder 5 0, no, it is false. So this statement is unconditional. This is conditional. Unconditional, it will print 1, 2. After that, it will go here 2, 2 less than 50. It is false. 2. Go here 3 less than 50. False. 3. Go here 4 less than 50. False. 4. Go here 5 less than 50. 5 reminder to 5 0. Yes. Continue means go here 6, because it is not coming here. The execution control is not coming here. That is why it is not printing any value which is divisible by 5. I don't want to print the divisible of 5 and 7 also. Or num reminder 7 equal to 0. If the number is divisible by 5 or 7, it will continue. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have 5. 6. We don't have 7. 8, 9. We don't have 10. 11 to 13. We don't have 14, because 14 is divisible by 7. 16. We don't have 15. 16, 17, 18, 19. We don't have 20. We don't have 21, because 21 is divisible by 7. 20 is divisible by 5. Okay. So this is, we have discussed break and it was continue. It means today we have completed conditional statements, normal loop, and control statement. We have not completed nested loop. We'll do it later, nested loop. Okay. Now comment line. We have discussed it, like this is single line comment. Multiple line comment. Okay. Comment is done. Like program documentation, it is called program documentation. So program documentation means the first one is comment line. So we all know what is a comment line, single line comment. It is like whatever you write after this comment line or inside this comment, multiple comment line, it will not be compiled. It means it is not the part of our program. It is not the part of Java grammar. Okay. The first program documentation means this is the very important thing which you have to follow in every project you write. Whenever you work in a project, you have to write program documentation part. Like every time you have to write a comment, like what the specific block is doing, what the specific statement is doing. Okay. The second one is blank. Blank means suppose if we have import statement util dot date, class statement int role name void get data role equal to 1 name equal to 40 void print data system out of println role name. Okay. So what is blank? Blank means if you have two different things, just write a blank between the things. Suppose this is a class and this is import statement. This is a blank. It is a kind of like we can see separator kind of thing. Like this is different thing from this. Like this is import statement. This is we have written class. Inside class also. These are variables, member data, and these are methods. So between every two different method, you have to have a blank. This is called decoration, program documentation. These are like member data, and this is member method. Just write and enter. Now the program is perfect. Like this is import statement. This is a class, member data, member method one, member method two. If you don't follow this rule, no problem. There is no any grammar error. There is no any syntax error. But if you are like in development field, you have to follow some community guidelines. Okay. So this is the community rule that in every project, whatever you write between two different things, you have to write a blank line to make it more like simple, to more clear. Okay. So this is blank. Third one is indentation. What is indentation? See, this program is correct. No problem. Okay. But there is a rule indentation. Indentation means if you write something inside something, then you have to write some indent. Indent means some space tab. We call it tab. Like if this is a public static void main is a main method. So method inside a class tab. This is called indentation. It means it is very clear to understand that this is something which is inside this. And inside public static void main, we have these statements. Again, indent. This is called indent. Means to make it clear, like which is something, like what is inside which thing. Like this is a method. So these are statements inside this method. That is why we have given some indent. These three statements inside this for loop. Indent. This continue is inside this if. Indent. Now the program is according to the community guideline, community rules, it is very perfect. Always you have to remember to use indentation. If you are writing something inside something, you have to write it with indent. This is perfect. Okay. See, it is very clear that which statement is inside which statement. This is called indentation. Prologue. Prologue means comment on program. Whatever program you write, just write comment in the first line about the program. About the program or comment on program. Like what program is this? Print 1 to 50, except multiples of multiples of 5 and 7. That's it. See, it means people will be like able to understand what this program is. They will not like just execute every statement and they will get to know what the program is. They will just get to know everything about the program using the prologue. This is called prologue. Okay. So we have completed so many things today. That's all for today and nothing else. And from tomorrow, we'll be connecting on every day, 9 to 10. As this week, I had some problems and like there was some internet issue also, but like from tomorrow, there will not be any kind of problem. So from tomorrow, we'll be connecting daily basis from 9 to 10. Let's try to complete this core Java part as soon as possible so that like we can enter into the SQL part. After that, the front end development. After that, the back end development like Spring Boot and all. Okay. So we can complete it as soon as possible. You also have to practice it. Whatever we have discussed so far, you have to practice it. You have to do practically all the things so that like parallelly we can go. Like if I discuss everything, like so many things, and you don't practice, so it will not be the correct process. If you want to become a good developer, you have to practice all the things. You have to be creative everywhere. Doesn't matter you are in development field or cloud or DevOps or blockchain, cyber security, digital marketing, training, marketing, like in research field, in sports field. If you are unemployed, but in every situation, you have to be creative. If you are creative, that is like the important part of our life, the creativity. It is required everywhere. If you are cooking something, if you are driving, if you are training someone, if you are working somewhere, every time you have to be creative. If you are creative, you can solve every problem very easily. Creativity is very important thing. And this is the thing which many people don't have. They just only rattle everything like they learn books, multiples of books. They watch videos. They go through so many websites. That's not all. Creativity means, how does creativity come? You have to observe the things. You have to study the things. You have to test. You have to practice. You have to experiment. You have to observe. You have to do creative things, new things. You have to visit new places. You have to talk to new people. You have to make new friends. You have to do new things. That is the creativity. Inside every new thing, whatever you do, whatever happens with you, every new thing comes with some creativity. You have to be creative. Doesn't matter like how many books you have read, how many teachers have taught you, doesn't matter. Which college you are from, doesn't matter. The only matter is your creativity, how much creative you are, how you solve problems. You have to face problems, you have to face new problems, you have to do new thing every time. It will make you so creative. So creativity is the important. Maximum people don't have creativity. If we like give them some unique task, so they will ask us like, sir, I don't know this, you have not taught us, I have not seen this before. So what happened? If you have not seen anything before, you can only do the things which you have seen before or done before. You cannot do new things, you cannot solve new problems. If I ask anyone, like any developer, to integrate some payment kind of thing, payment gateway, or like if I ask someone to create application like this Teams, like we can uh, record the meeting, we can create meeting, we can schedule meeting, we can share our screen, we can have audio call, video call feature, we can stop sharing, we can chat. So if I want someone to develop this kind of application, I can guarantee like everyone will be asking, sir, can you help me in some basic things? Sir, what API I will use? Sir, how we can develop this? How I know? I have not learned all these things in my college. You have to learn all the things yourself. No one is here to make you a developer. You have to make yourself a developer. No teacher, no college, no God will make you a developer. You have to make yourself a developer by practicing, by observing things, by creativity, by doing creative things. You have to understand the situations, you have to understand the market, you have to go to the market, you have to meet people, you have to like talk to them, you have to do so many things, you have to understand the nature also. As we all know, nature is the best teacher. So there is no teacher, no college, no university, no any course in this entire world which can make you a developer. You are the only one who can make you a developer. So you have to understand this line. I have like seen very few people creative in my entire life. Everyone just watches videos. When any problem we face, we just like open Google or YouTube, or like we just see the grammar part. We don't try to use our intelligence anytime. Whenever we face any problem, we just ask to our managers, we just ask to our team, like, I'm facing this problem. No one like tries to use his intelligence. Today everyone is dependent on something. You have to know what this intelligence is, what your past experience is, and one experience can help into other problems to solve. It is not like if you have experience of like cooking, and the experience of cooking will not help you in driving. It is not like that. Like whatever you eat, doesn't matter it is chapati or like rice or anything, fruits, vegetables, whatever you eat, when it goes inside you, it becomes your strength, your power. Inside our body, they are not different. They are not like vegetable, they are not fruits, They are not something else. They all are our strength, our power. The same way, whatever you learn, you are from like science background, commerce background, arts background, you are like learning history honors, you are a student of history honors, geography honors, Hindi honors, English honors, doesn't matter. The only thing which matters is if you are understanding something, you know how things happen, or like you are just learning the lines which are written, the statements which like people had said. You have to be creative. Facebook is a creative, WhatsApp is a creative, Instagram is a creative, YouTube is a creative, Microsoft is a creative. No one has developed second Microsoft, no one has developed second Facebook, but many people had tried to develop second Facebook, but they have failed. Facebook is unique, Microsoft Teams is unique, Microsoft Office 365 is unique, Windows is unique. Everything which is first, like first we see, requires creativity. Newton was creative, Einstein was creative, APJ Abdul Kalam was creative. We are not creative. We just buy books, buy online courses. We never try to like use our own intelligence. We never try to gain experience. Our experience. What we learn in machine learning. Machine has to learn. Machine has to have like some kind of experience. Machine uses its past experiences to make some decisions or predictions. That is why they are called machine learning or artificial intelligence. We all know that what machine learning does. What happens when we say machine learning? What does it mean? We all know. But in real life, we forget all the things. Machine learning means we just let machines or computers to experience all the things, and further they will use those experiences to make new decisions, to make predictions about the future. They will use their past experiences to solve problems. So why not to experience all the things in our life? No one is trying to experience the things. Everyone is to watch the videos, copy paste the code. Copy paste will not work in creative things. Facebook is not an example of copy paste. WhatsApp and Microsoft or like Apple is not an example of copy paste. People who just try to like copy paste all the things just join companies and working as a servant, not employee. Don't say it employee. They are servant. They just know how to like sustain, how I can live my life, how I can get 50,000 salary, how I can get 1 lakh salary in a month. That's enough. No one is trying to use their creativity. No one is trying to experience this entire world. No one is trying to experience the technology. No one is trying to become the creator. Everyone is trying to become the user. Everyone is trying to become the servant. Everyone has brain, natural intelligence, a physical body, hands, legs, heart, eye, ear, nose, teeth. We all have everything. So why not to experience the technology? Why not to experience all the things practically in our life? Why not to observe the things? Why not to do some creative things? What is the problem? So you always have to experience the things. Whatever we learn, if we are learning Java, you have to experience the Java practically. How do you experience? You have to think about the situations. You have to think about the problems, and you have to solve all those problems using Java. You have to relate all the things, whatever we learn in Java, with your real life. You have to relate objects, classes, inheritance, exception handling, multi-threading, everything, whatever we will learning with your real life. How we can solve real life problems with Java? Java is not like developed to solve imaginary things, to solve those things which we can imagine. Everything is developed to solve our real life problems. Computer is developed to solve real life problems. Java, Python, programming languages, websites, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp is used to develop real life problems. You have to understand it. Nothing is here to develop like has developed been to solve the problems which we can imagine only, which is not real. It is not like that. Everything is developed to solve real life problems. The first mistake everyone does, that he or she considers himself or herself weak, that I cannot do this, this is not my cup of tea, this is very difficult thing. This is the first problem. If you are a human being, it means you can do whatever you can think. You can go beyond your thinking. This is the power of a human being. You are not, we are also animal, but we are not like dog, cat, elephant. We are human being. We are different from those animals and insects or all living thing on this planet or this entire world, this entire universe. We are unique. We have got natural intelligence. The only thing which we have to do is to experience all the things. Experience matters. You have to add experiences on everyday basis. Your experiences will help you to make future decisions. Okay, so let's finish this class today. We'll connect tomorrow 9 p.m. Okay, I'm sharing you the file and recording also.